Harmontown, starting
Anybody have an adapter?
all the
No,
time.
we don't.
Harmontown is a podcast you can listen to no matter who you are. Harmontown, the podcast, starting now is the time. Harmontown is starting now. It's starting now. Harmontown.
Damn. Nailed it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Harmontown from the cozy confines of the Starburns box booth. I'm sitting here with Steve Levy, Spencer Crittenden, your game master. I'm Jeff Davis, your comptroller. Let's give it up for the mayor of Harmontown, Mr. Dan Harmon.
All right. Thanks for joining us. All right. Top item, I think, for those of our, for anybody who's been like an avid listener as of the last month or so. A couple of weeks ago, I don't remember how long ago, we were talking about an encounter you had with Ron Jeremy.
Yes.
And I forgot to address this last week. Last week we had a gay old time, and they were like, "There's whatever. I'm not going to waste time talking about the stuff I didn't get a chance to bring up." But to recap the story is that Jeff was at a party, and Ron Jeremy walked by him and had a banana peel on his shoulder.
Yes.
And Jeff said, "You got a banana peel on your shoulder," and Ron Jeremy was like, "I know," and walked out. So we spent like 20 minutes speculating.
Yes.
Like, what's the explanation for that? Our first guess, collectively, I think, like, that we were all very satisfied with was, he walks around with a banana peel on his shoulder because there's some gross kind of, like, banana innuendo that he does for the ladies, and Jeff's not, like, a pretty lady, so, like, he wasn't worth it, so he walked out. The truth becomes fascinating. Somebody on Reddit or somebody sent
he was doing an AMA or something.
Somebody went to you sent me a thing that somebody went to Ron Jeremy's Reddit page.
This is the beauty of the internet. And let's put a pin in, a very temporary pin, because I do want to talk about this too. It's like, how do we feel about what this guy did? Because it's sort of like, that's the internet for you. Like, somebody just bluntly messaged Ron Jeremy and said, "Jeff Davis on Harmontown said you had an encounter with him and that you seemed mad at him when asking about it." It's like no story is it makes you cringe in the retelling.
Well,
it's like a Larry King reading Eminem lyrics. It's like, I didn't mean it that way. But this kid says to Ron Jeremy, "This happened. What do you have to say?" Ron Jeremy responds,
"It makes me more appealing."
Right.
So our theory was correct, except for one fascinating detail, which is that it wasn't pornographic.
It doesn't have to be, though. If you're Ron Jeremy, everything you do is pornographic.
Exactly. So he had this cutesy, like Richard Scarry, right. Mr. Rogers kind of connect. So we were essentially right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
right.
is his built-in joke or admission in that, like, I'm not an appealing person. Like, I am not an attractive gentleman. And so I'm going to get out in front of that.
I never even thought about it that way.
I called myself ugly before you did. I'm more appealing than you now because I have trash on my shoulder.
So I will say, yeah, remember when we talked about that, how I took a big, long chunk aside because I was like, I love my porn. I love my monsters. I love my underground people. I hate our society's like hypocritical treatment of what we're now calling sex workers. But I was like, it's like I think we have a very unhealthy relationship with that stuff. And like every time I hear that Ron Jeremy was at a party and like someone will make some joke that's like, well, you're talking about this person like a second-class citizen and stuff. It was all wasted effort because he. Now I can judge him. He put a banana peel on his shoulder, and the answer was something cute. He could have just used it on you. He could have just said, "It makes me more appealing to you," but he didn't. And now I'm a little mad at him.
Wait, Church, you had a banana before. Do we ever talk about this?
Yeah. There was bananas involved, but we took them off the table.
I don't know. It's like, the person that does that, that goes on Reddit and says, "Hey," and he or she did not say, "Hey, Jeff Davis from Harmontown." Just said Jeff Davis like that matters to Ron Jeremy.
Okay.
So Jeff Davis said that you walked by with a banana peel and you were all pissed off about it. I don't get the instinct of that person. Is that someone trying to prove that I made up a story?
Okay, yeah. I want to talk about that too. Because do we love that person or hate that person?
I don't know. I mean, because there was another time, and
because now someone also, by the way, not to interject, is going to now we're talking about it, and it's interesting that we're talking about it now. Two more people will message him and go, "You have a beef on this thing," and stuff like that.
It's a stupid instinct by stupid people like that.
However, it got us an answer.
But then again, he doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Who's Jeff Davis? He probably wears a banana peel around all the goddamn time.
But you didn't know why he had a banana peel on his shoulder. He was also engaged in fucking cryptography.
Yeah, remember a long time ago.
It took a troll to get to hack and leak the Jeremy leaks.
In I think the first time I ever even heard of Reddit, I told a story about the neurologist that I worked with who did this crazy thing, and somebody went online, asked her, "Did this happen? Jeff Davis said that you did this thing," and she wrote back, "I don't know what you're talking about." Now, either she doesn't remember that she doesn't remember that moment in the way that I and other people in that room remembered that moment.
Wait, can you rewind that a little bit? Because I don't.
I did a pilot with a woman who is a neurologist from Boston General.
Oh,
and we were doing a pilot, and it's based on her. And there was an actor who was trying to.
Okay, you had a story, and somebody during her AMA. Okay,
emailed her, tracked her down. This is pre AMAs. Like, at least as far as this doctor is concerned, someone just tracked her down and said, "Hey, this guy, Jeff Davis, a show with you, said this thing happened." It's bullshit, right? And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I think he's probably combining this story and that story. The thing is, I remember what happened. And also, there's 5 or 6 people I could track down that would absolutely back that up. But she's not going to go online and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm a crazy person." Like the story is about her being a crazy genius. Mm-hmm. Either she didn't remember it because she's got bigger fish to fry because she's a neurologist and heals people for a living, or she doesn't want to go out on record saying, "Oh yeah, I see dead people. I have crazy superpowers."
Right.
Because she already got decommissioned once and had to get locked up for it. So the fact that somebody goes out there and tries to debunk this story.
Well, okay, but that's so this person that approached Ron Jeremy digitally,
right.
It boils down to we wish that they had taken the time to be more nuanced in their language. But really what they were doing was not debunking. I don't think that they were.
I think for that
you're
person,
using an example. You're gun shy. I get it because you're saying somebody fucking actually you told an interesting story and somebody was like, "Yeah, but did that ever happen?" And asked somebody else.
For instance, one of the first times I went on Reddit was I told the story about my understudy and the King and I getting slapped the shit out of by Yul Brynner.
Right.
Now that's a fucking actual story, but I went on Reddit like an idiot, which you really must not do because it's a den of sadness, and I went on there and people were like, "That didn't fucking happen. Jeff's so full of shit." I'm like, dude, I can't even tell my good stories on the air because they're too scandalous. I was there. It's a real story, but people think I'm full of shit. Now, have I exaggerated in the past or maybe fucked up a detail or two? Of course. But the thing is, I don't. When I saw the Ron Jeremy thing, I was like, is that somebody trying to zing me?
Yeah, I would categorize that person as what actually. I think they believed the story.
And they're fans of us and Ron Jeremy, and
they're fans of us and maybe not so much Ron Jeremy. And that's the minor problem I have with that person. It's just that it was just well, and look, I'm do as I'm. That person, they're not to me, they're not a villain because but it's
I didn't see villainy in that person doing. I think they were saying I'm on the internet. I get to ask Ron Jeremy about Harmontown.
And we would prefer to have so much control over the universe that the way Ron Jeremy hears about that interaction wouldn't come through a channel that removes all the empathy. If Ron Jeremy walked in here off the street, we would be nice to him, and we would ask him what the hell was going on with the banana peel, and there would be humanity involved.
If he came in here right now, I would ask him about that. And I tend to think that it's not a thing he does a lot. I don't think that's a costume he wears all the time around town. He puts a banana peel on his shoulder. I think he was probably doing some sort of riff. He had a banana peel, put it on his shoulder, did a funny joke to somebody, left it there. But I was a guy, not a girl. I mean, I just think it was a momentary thing. I really don't think Ron Jeremy walks around occasionally or frequently.
I'm squinting at you.
You are.
Subscribers can see, if you choose to pay us $5 a month to watch the podcast, you can see that I'm squinting at you.
Dan, nobody's subscribing anymore. They all stopped listening when we stopped.
Well, I'm trying to change that by squinting at you.
Okay, well.
So I'm trying to add an element to the podcast that requires $5.
Should I just book Ron Jeremy and get to the bottom of this?
Sure. No. For $5 a month, you could see Dan casting me a jaundiced eye.
Only because, in your defense, kind of, I guess.
I think I'm just giving him the big benefit of the doubt.
His response to that kid saying, "What's that story about?" being like one line. It makes me more appealing. It felt a little confident.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: Ron Jeremy and I do not share. We're not cousins on the spectrum. So, I guess. I can't compare his behavior to mine in that situation because I would have been like, my response would have been 8 paragraphs long.
Right.
Had that been I would have gone, okay, here's the thing. There was a banana peel on the table, and I started putting it, and I started doing this joke, and then I was walking around with it, and I wanted to go, but I didn't want to take it off and then put it back on, or I would have all this or I would go you know what, I was horny that night, and I was doing this thing, and it was getting some action, and then I was tired, and I don't remember your friend, whoever you're talking about, blah blah blah. It would have been a hyper-verbal response, which, by the way, well, how does that get me more results than Ron Jeremy's getting?
I guess the only thing
I have nothing to.
Because all I did was harmlessly ask a Ron Jeremy that was 4 feet away from me, who just passed me, wearing a spent banana peel over his shoulder. I said, "Pardon me, sir, you have a banana peel on your shoulder." And the only reaction that is confusing is him to go, "Yeah, thanks."
It's funny because it's not funny in the moment. That's why it's funny, because you could have just said, "It makes me more appealing," and I think maybe I think that's
because
him.
If I were a cute girl, he might have gone, "Well, does it make me more appealing?" And then what?
Well, also, if you're a guy, as you are,
true,
and you go, "Excuse me, you got a banana peel on your shoulder," and if he stopped and said, "It makes me more appealing," you might have gone, "Gross. Is that how you get laid? You fuck. My dick's bigger than yours. What are you trying to pull?" He could have. It would have been vulnerable.
I would never have gone that far.
I know you wouldn't have. The phantom of his father might have gone that far.
Okay, let's role play.
Who do I get to be?
You're
Jeff
no
has
wrong
the
answers.
initiative.
You're on Jeremy, but give me the reply that he did. Respond. No. Give me the it makes me more appealing. Do the fun version of that.
Okay.
Sir, you have a banana peel on your shoulder.
It makes me more appealing.
Oh, you little devil. That would have been my response.
Yeah, thank you. Because a guy outside the bathroom, I said that, and he made fun of me. He said, "You think that's funny? You're a piece of shit." And then he said some horrible shit about a movie I was in 1972. And then he made fun of my body, which is always on display in my work.
I got this half bottle of champagne. You want some? You sticking around?
I'd love some. What's your name? I'm Ron Jeremy.
I'm Jeff. It's nice to meet you, man.
Thank you. You know what? I get scared of being vulnerable with people because I'm a public figure, and it's really easy to make fun of me.
But here's the beauty of you wearing a banana peel on your shoulder. For me, if you had just walked by, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have said to my girlfriend, "Oh shit, Ron Jeremy just walked by." But because you had a gimmick, or whether you're doing a bit or a thing or whatever, I got to say something to Ron Jeremy because there was a specific thing happening.
And you're saying it kind of, in a literal sense, made me more appealing.
It made you more accessible.
Right. It didn't make me more appealing. My concern was that I did it for...
Well, can I ask you a question? Because here's your champagne.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Clink. I say clink because we're drinking out of paper cups, but that's me being less appealing. I don't know. Can I ask you 3 questions about the banana peel?
I trust you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's the origin story of that banana peel being on your right shoulder?
My Uncle Kurt used to do it.
I love Uncle Kurt.
And he was actually, in our family, like the running joke was that he had a really, really small penis. I grew up in a very liberal family. I was a child of the 40s. Back then, there was a counterculture that wasn't as publicized as in the 60s, but I grew up on a ranch,
Right.
where surrounded by hippies and things.
Hey, I'll stop you. I've read your biography.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you've
I've never heard the Kurt story. I know your whole your childhood.
Well,
but-
he's one of the few family members that actually, he passed away before he could approve of the biography. But everyone else, I checked it out with.
That's very thoughtful of you. A lot of people don't even consider it.
Uncle Kurt he had the smallest penis, but the thing that always moved me about him was that he, everyone liked him, more. And I always, since I was
Because he had a banana peel on his shoulder? Or?
No, because he did clever things like that. That was something that stuck out in my head when I was 8 years old. The thing that stuck out in general about Uncle Kurt was that he had this very tiny little itty bitty little wiener, and I don't know if it was because of that he was such a socially graceful person, or I don't know how much of it had to do with the fact that, frankly, from the age of 3 forward, my earliest memories as Ron Jeremy are people telling me I had a huge, weirdly huge dick. Like, even before I knew what sex was, people were commenting about my big, giant dick.
Now, is Uncle Kurt wearing the banana peel because of his small dick? Is there a correlation there?
No, I mean, for me, what I'm saying to you is it was a thing that he would do, and when I went to that party that night, there was bananas everywhere.
There were, because I saw people.
Peaches.
Yeah, Peaches had a banana,
So
which is already funny.
It was one of a million things that he would do, and I just kind of started doing it, and I actually immediately started getting results, and it was really satisfying to me. And the moment when you interacted with me, I was actually starting to come down from it because I had said just before I ran into you to a younger woman, it makes me more appealing. She's like, that's funny. Like, what? It's people say you're a porn star. She was so young, she didn't know, and I was like, yeah, I'm a porn star, but I'm also a human being. And she was like, yeah, but why? It went south really fast in a way that made me think that if I had been born with a smaller dick, like at that moment, I might have met like the woman of my dreams, because I was overhearing her at the table by the champagne, and I was like, I love this girl, and I was like, I felt like I was locked in a box from birth by my giant cock, and I was just like, and the banana peel couldn't break me out of it.
Right.
And then I walked past you, and you said, and I honestly, I don't remember the encounter, but I'm telling you why that probably happened. I was on my way to my car. I didn't want to pull the banana peel off because it would look like a defeat. But I was just on my way to my car, and I just wanted to go home and like just where I gained strength in isolation.
No, but when I asked you, you said, "Oh, it makes me more appealing." This is not the version where you snapped it. Like, do you sometimes snap at people?
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot. Sorry.
Well, okay, now I have.
Sorry.
Wait, and so now you're saying that sometimes
I snap at people.
This
sometimes.
is something that you do frequently. Okay, now if you're doing it frequently, what's the blue sky version of like only women asking you about it? Like what? Like
No. I was caught up in a moment. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not a thing that I do. It's not my gimmick. It was something that I
Okay.
started doing that I am familiar with, that I got into. Spencer, what's your take on the
Banana Gate.
What?
Yeah, I could have.
What's my take on-
I could have put that in an envelope and held it to my head.
What's your
What's my take on? I don't think that sentence finished.
well? What do you think the backstory of the Ron Jeremy banana peel shoulder thing is? Is that a one-off? Is that a thing he does? And why was he so? I mean, he wasn't pissed off at me. He just.
I think you guys got to the answers already.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
he's done it a few times. I think
Yeah.
he doesn't get anything about it by playing along with a male.
I hope it's not the fact that he's trying to get out in front of you, calling him an ugly because the banana peel
I
makes
think
it more
that's
appealing.
no. I don't think. I think that's you reading too far into it. I
Yeah.
think that anyone can be more appealing. They don't have to necessarily think they're disgusting to have to say,
Right.
"Oh, I could be more appealing."
But did he like? Does
He could have had a bad night. I was like, I see stuff retweeted that I've said to some kid that I had an encounter with, and I'm like, well, that's not me. I hope that doesn't represent me. He was having a bad night, but I mean, we can't assume that he has a trunk of banana peels in his car.
Yeah.
Nah, it's like a bar trick.
Wasn't there a crazy Cody story you wanted to tell? I'm trying
What
to...
are you, my publicist?
Yeah.
Well, you kind of are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is yes.
You told me to remind you last week because you didn't get to it.
I told you to remind me.
Yeah, you were like, I want to talk about that on the podcast.
That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, you'd remember something like that.
I do have, yes, it's written down here. I didn't need that.
Oh.
That's what's important.
Okay.
Thank you. Here's the thing. I recently got a text message from a writer on Great Minds who I texted. I said, do you want me to give you anonymity? He doesn't care because it's about what this is about marijuana. Doesn't matter to him. But Andrew Weinberg was a writer on Great Minds. Remember Andrew?
Yeah. He was a guest on the show.
He texted me and said, I just came back from the weed store, and this is the bag they gave me my weed in. And he texted me a photo of the bag that they gave to put his weed in when he left the weed store. And on the bag was written, why is it, wait, what, am I distracted by, okay.
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag is a bunch of weed. Who cares?
What's on the bag?
What's on the bag is he texts me a photo of it. It's my girlfriend. It's Cody. It says Cody Heller and her phone number with area
ballpoint
code,
pen.
her address, her email address, everything. Every conceivable thing you could learn about a human being without dumpster diving was about my girlfriend was written on this paper bag that had been given him his product in, and he was sending me a photo because he just happened to know, even though I wasn't going out with, or I guess I was going out with Cody during Great Minds, so but he's like, this is what they gave me, and I'm like, oh, okay. The immediate and one of the phrases written on the bag was lamb's bread, which is a flavor of vape that Cody's obsessed with. She loves lamb's bread.
Why?
Obviously what happened. Not obviously. But a quick, think tank session
yeah.
put this together. This is a dispensary that Cody had been on the phone with. This lamb's bread flavor has been discontinued. I mean, I really haven't seen anyone as obsessed about this stuff since, like, Justin talked about, like, I don't know, Police Academy action figures or something. like she just had this obsession. Like, she found this vape flavor that she loves, lamb's bread. It was just, so she was calling around to a lot of dispensaries, and then it was also written on the bag was like, you could tell the story even if you didn't have inside information. You could slowly figure it out because one of the things was something like willing to buy $1,000 worth or something. It was like some form of that. So Cody obviously called this place and was like, "What's up with lamb's bread? I got to get more lamb's bread. My name is Cody Heller. Here's," and they're like, "Oh shit! Well, let me use the pothead equivalent of a database," which is writing on a bag next to the cash register all of your information because wow, that's a lot of pot vape we could sell.
And it just happened that someone that you know went in and got that bag.
It just so happens.
That's fucking nuts.
Well, that's if Republicans are listening, it's like, okay, now you can use this as an example of like, let's not legalize marijuana. However, I'm way ahead of you because it's like, no, let's legalize it so much that we can pay really high wages to people that have like super sophisticated computer systems when they're selling you your pot. But the punchline comes because I'm like, holy shit, my girlfriend was like inadvertently doxxed by this trusted weed vendor, and fuck, I was explaining. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I'm trying to get to the bottom, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, that's crazy. Like, if it hadn't been you, then there's just a stranger out there with all your personal information written on their weed bag, and that's just bad form.
Yeah.
But and then I'm like, oh, she's gonna be bummed out about this, but I have to tell her. And I texted the photo and the story to Cody, and her immediate first response was, "Oh no! If they don't have my info, I'm not going to get my lamb's bread."
What do you think?
Why is it called lamb's bread?
Yeah, what do you think lamb's bread is?
That sounds
It's
like
just a flavor of.
No, I know, but like if
lamb's
If
bread.
it
Well,
existed.
Well, I think it's
once upon a time, there was a strain called God's Breath. I believe it might have been a relative to God's gift, but God's Breath happened, and it got changed to God's Bread over time. It kind of got bred into God's Bread, and then God's Bread colloquially got renamed Lamb's Bread in some circles, or was bred into Lamb's Bread. So it's God's Breath, kind of bastardized 3 generations or so.
I can't believe you actually know the answer to that.
The only reason I know you're not making it up is because you'd never put the energy into it. Like you wouldn't see the point in lying, but you could be lying. You could be making all of that up.
Right. Well, it's true. But
Spencer, like, I've never seen you this nervous before, because we learned earlier that Spencer's new leased Honda CRV, he's already gone over his monthly allotment of miles for his lease.
yeah, I got a new car, and I had it for like a week, and I got like a cheese stain in the car.
Don't worry about the cheese stain. Worry about the...
Well, it's
that doesn't matter.
Don't let
fuck
these-
you guys. You don't know it doesn't matter. Every
fine.
day it's like Macbeth. I'm gonna fucking kill myself because I look in and see this faint grease stain in the car that I know came from cheese,
What sort of cheese? What was the...
cheddar cheese.
From what kind of, like, meal were you having?
A bag of cheddar cheese. I wasn't eating a bag of cheddar cheese, but it was from a bag of cheddar cheese.
Was it melted cheese?
No, it was just cheese.
But the oil got out.
Yeah, it's a greasy item.
The greasy cheese.
Right.
Greasy cheese.
Well,
But
why did you have unwrapped cheese on your car seat?
Well, I don't know how it got on the car seat. There are multiple competing theories, including my favorite is Jeff put it on the car seat. There's no reason to believe that that's true.
But have you calculated the worst case scenario? Because what you're going through is like you're not to condescend to you, because I'm lower than you on the consumer scale because you drive me everywhere. But you're younger than me, and I have bought cars but not leased them. I've bought used whatever. I've been through a lot of apartments and had my security deposit at stake because I hung a picture, and oh no, there's a hole in the wall. That shame that fills you. Have you gone to the point in confronting that shame where you've calculated like the worst case scenario about leasing a Honda CRV and having a cheese stained backseat? Like, what's the worst that could happen to you?
I'd be on the hook for multiple thousands of dollars, and I'd have a cheese stain in my car.
Well, what do you? But go through. I mean, what happens? Because if this is a company that leases you a car and tells you, by the way, we expect you to never cheese stain the seat.
Oh, it's not because of the lease. It's because it's a new car.
Oh, are you just bummed out because you feel like you just got a new car and it's already starting to look like your old car that you love?
Yeah, there's a giant fucking cheese stain.
Oh, well then let me shower you with fucking, like, are you kidding me? That's fucking, like, that's fantastic. That's Spencer juice. That's you,
No, that's
you
why
owning
it's
the car.
terrible.
Because
No, because it's cheese.
I know, because but
It's like
have
it
you
might
tr-
as
have
well have been a D&D stain.
Have you tried to get some shout or something like that and get it all out?
I'm probably about $200 deep in trying to solve this problem.
Oh no! What kind of cheese
Jesus.
is a $200 cheese stain?
This is I don't want to dismiss that road, but I was like also though, because I resonate with this. Like, you're thinking like you got this new car, and it's like a grown up car, right? Like you're like a child, and you got like a grown up car, and you saw the cheese stain, and you're like, oh, I'm already doing it wrong. Like I didn't do what my mom would do, or like what a grown up does, or like what your favorite cop character on TV would do, like
Right, Adam Sandberg.
Banachek.
Adam Sandberg.
He loves getting his name mixed up with Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandberg's cop car wouldn't have cheese stains on it. First of all, I doubt that. I'm sure if that's a lovable sitcom,
I
probably has some cheese stains.
this resonates with me. Like if I put myself in your shoes or your car, my OCD, I would never not notice the cheese stain.
No, I know. I can literally feel it in the back of my head when I'm driving. I can feel it behind me in the seat. Like it's not my seat. Like it's in the back seat, but its presence is there and undeniable.
But you pick me up for work every day and drive me everywhere, and
I'm on the verge of killing us both because of this cheese stain.
And I would accept that if if we got to heaven and you would say, "I'm sorry, man, I had a cheese stain and I had to. What was life worth?" And I was like, "That's why you swerved into oncoming traffic." And I'd be like, "You know what? Better reason to die than because we elected a dyslexic, fucking stroked out, homunculus."
Homunculus. I would say take the Honda back to the Honda dealership and say, "Look, I got this fucking cheese stain back here. It's driving me crazy. Do you guys like? They'll know how to get the cheese stain out."
I've thought about that. I've taken it to get detailed, but
can I be the other devil on your shoulder because there's no angel in this equation? Fucking take another bag of cheese and fucking rub it all over that thing. All right, that's Dino if he were here.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like the solution isn't to avoid cheese stains because that creates an economy, a psychological economy where you're like, then you're always one cheese stain away from being deregulated. The solution is to actually accept the cheese stain, because then that helps you cope with like reality.
The first time I leased a car, I obsessed about it so much, and the first time I got a little nick, like somebody opened their door into my door and there's a little ding there, it drove me fucking crazy. Because I
remember.
I wanted that thing to be perfect, and now like having leased a bunch of cars, you don't give a shit.
When Jeff got his first Lexus, like, yeah, you weren't a dick or anything, but it was like it fucking eclipsed his life.
I was
like he had
because I'd only had shitty cars before that. I'd only had cars that were covered in cheese stains, like the whole.
And it wasn't because you became a materialist. It was because
I felt like an adult. It was
because you felt like you were fucking up adulting.
Yeah.
I know exactly. That's first day of school for everybody. You just get this big chance, and you lay out your pants and your binders and all that stuff, and then the first time it's like, oh, my homework's got bubble gum on it, and then we just go like, God fucking damn it! I knew it! I knew I'm a piece of shit! I knew it!
Yeah, you hear your mother's voice in your head yelling at you for fucking up.
Do you think
that's why I'm mad? It's not because of any of else. It's not like the practical struggles of a stain. Like that's literally the only reason why I'm mad.
That's what I want to address to help you feel better, because first step that makes you 90% feel better is talking about it, because as soon as it comes out of your mouth, it's like, and then the next 10% is us going like, yeah, man, me too.
I was pretty impressed that you had a new car until I found out it was the fucking cheese stain car.
I know.
Outside of the cheese stain, though, how do you like that car?
It's fine.
He likes it so much he's going over his miles.
Oh man, the idea of a mileage cap bummed me out. I haven't had a car since gave my Prius to McGathy in the divorce, and I don't need to drive anywhere. Apparently, I found that out.
Well, Spencer does, and he's gonna kill himself.
Do you get sick of me? Are you looking forward to me like not needing a ride everywhere?
I think that the schedule demands that sometimes arise from the worst case scenarios of having to drive you around can be a hassle, but the actual driving of you around is not a hassle. Like that's all fine and good, but sometimes it's like, well, it means I got to get up and leave the house at 8, and then I might be on the hook until like 8 or something at night. Like, that's where the problems come in. But especially lately, that's never been the case. Like we've been really easy going lately. So
I am looking forward to, well, because also in my own personal schedule, I've made a kind of like decision that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pull back and take it easy with the workaholism a little bit. That probably affects it a little. Where I'm like, oh, I don't mind. Yeah. But maybe also I've been. By the way, for those of you who joined us in the beginning, and we haven't explained it, Jeff and Church are doing Handmaid's Tale cosplay.
Right.
We explained that while the audio was out, and then Jeff had come in and sat down, and I love that for the last 30 minutes, Jeff has been with a completely straight face, just being Jeff, and he has this fucking ridiculous beard. It's pretty funny. But that's, yeah.
I mean, my beard is itchy because it's fake, and I've got spirit gum on, and there's mesh. But how do you guys all have beards?
It's terrible.
You're wearing a big old thing on your face all the time. It's like I want to blow my brains out.
My grandmother hates
me
it.
too.
She yells at me.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, because kissing you is less sensual?
No, she says that men with beards are inherently less handsome. It's like an old way of thinking. She's like, you guys are gross.
Did you tell her that old women are less attractive?
No.
Well, then that's called privilege. You could just kick back and enjoy it.
She's
like, yeah, Grandma, you got it. I'm a real ugly piece of shit. Wink, wink to God.
Every other
Your
conversation.
paper flesh isn't gross at all. No one has a right to shame you for that because it's not a choice. You're just melting.
She's being old school because Jewish Paul Newman wouldn't have a beard.
I'm sorry.
Paul Newman was Jewish.
Yeah, but you're like the Jewish Paul Newman.
Paul Newman could never be as Jewish as you.
Huh.
No matter how hard he tried.
I don't think he went to temple as much as you did. I don't.
He probably went to temple more than me.
Do you love your grandma?
Yeah, she's great.
Do you think she's an attractive person?
Like physically?
Yeah, she went there.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Don't do that to me.
No. Don't do that to you. How about we live in a society where reason is God and rule of law governs the land,
wants me to
we don't judge people by whether like why are grandmas grandfathered in? Well, because they're grandmas, but it's like they're like oh you're so cute. There's you know what? I wonder how much of the fucking patriarchy is upheld by grandmas who are like oh you're so attractive. When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna look better? Why don't you show some leg? Like grandmas sound like Don Draper. Oh. The specter of inequality is
We went to church. Took me to Adam Levine's annual Halloween party, and I carried around dressed as Commander Fred from *Handmaid's Tale* with my Scrabble box, and I think only 4 people laughed at that.
Were there a lot of? I think there was an early prediction that was going to be that Halloween was going to be like an army of handmaids.
I've seen 3, and I've been to numerous parties.
Yeah, Ricky Lindholm was there. Ricky from Garfunkel from Garfunkel and Oates. She was there as a handmaid. And there was a couple others.
There was a couple who were the commander and the commander's wife who had a blow-up doll dressed as a handmaid in between them.
Nice.
They kept fucking it. It was really good.
I have so many questions about that show.
I was surprised. I can tell you what. How many people were at that party? A few hundred?
No, more like 1,000.
Okay, and I was surprised I didn't see any Rick and Morty costumes. But that's kind of a Hollywood rock and roller.
We did see them at Lucha Vivum.
Well, I mean, there was
I got texted 100 pictures of people.
Okay, good. Well, because I was like, I remember the year when there were none, and then the year where there were 1,000, and I don't know, within that year, I don't know. Yeah, if it was like,
it's got to be one of the most popular costumes
this
year.
What there is? Harmon Quest costumes.
Oh yeah.
Well, at the Starburns party that we had, there were literally, because the entire art department of Harmon Quest, like they coordinated. There was an army of Spencers. I'm sure you already know that by now. Does that make you feel better or worse about not coming to the party?
Worse. I tried to go to the party. I tried to go 3 times.
But Mario Odyssey came out.
That wasn't why I didn't.
You were too busy putting that cheese in your seat.
Yeah, I was
what
fucking...
What was the reason when you share it?
I was like, I was scared or anxious. Like, I drove up to Park and, You went all the way there? Yeah, no, 3 times I went all the way there.
What?
This is, I mean, do you mind, can we talk about it?
Yeah.
So talk about like what goes through your mind that like makes the difference between parking the car and going into a party and continuing on. Like what are the? I'm trying to figure out a better way to rephrase this so that you can answer easy questions.
I don't know. It's hard because it's not like I don't know. I've had anxiety where it is like a conversation, where it's like, if you go in, they're going to be mean or, whatever. And it wasn't like that. Lately, it's just been more just like a pressure upwelling. It's like, I'm going to do this. And then you just get there and it's like, I don't know.
Are
it's
you more worried about if you I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this so that because based on my experience, if you had a button in your hand that was the amount of pressure on the button created more or less attention on you, more or less people demanding answers from you about how you're doing and how you've been and all this stuff, it would you like how hard I guess you're not afraid of obscurity. That's not you're afraid of attention, right?
I don't know. I mean, when you're saying the button, it's like I think it's both. Like I'm thinking
Control.
Well, yeah, it's like I'm worried about, I don't know, like when I was trying to park, I saw all these people outside and I was like, I'm going to have to get past these people to get to the party. And like that in its own was like a thing, but it's not like I didn't not want to talk to those people and I wanted to go to the party because I did want to talk to people. So it's not like I didn't want to be noticed and I wanted to be noticed, or it's like it's both, but it's not either or neither. But it's
kind of lack of control over a social situation where it's like if you're obscure, like I remember being 25 and like the Channel 101 days, it's like we all went to each other's parties because it was sort of an orgy of the more attention the better, and actually we're all on the same level and we can all just like pay attention to each other and nobody's really like suffering, and then but like it for me it's a control issue where I'm like, actually I have nothing to gain anymore and no camaraderie to achieve. I only have maybe people that I'd like to talk to and then a whole shit ton of people that I can either disappoint or ignore.
Right.
I like that sounds like I'm casting it in terms of like you think you're a rock star.
It is that though, because I don't feel like the camaraderie you say. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna go to this party and I will feel closer to these people as a result. Like that might be true, but that's not what I feel going into it. It's just like this could be fun, and then that quickly gets consumed by everything else.
When the sense of responsibility comes in, or like obligation, when you look at like a little bit of a minefield of like eight groups of people and you're like, you know what, I'm never gonna like, and then you find yourself in a conversation with somebody and you're like, shit, I don't know when to leave or if I should want to leave. I could push a button in my head that made me want to talk to you about avionics for the next hour and a half. I really could. But at a certain point, my wife might come up and be like really upset that I've been talking about avionics for 90 minutes. Or I might find out that everybody left the party. Or I might I don't know. There's a bunch of people I didn't see, friends of mine and stuff. And like, I don't know when every conversation is a weird fencing match, except instead of people trying to stab each other, it's like people trying to hug each other, and so you can spend an indeterminate amount of time, and every single conversation can only really end gracefully or ungracefully by somebody saying, "Well, I've decided I'm done talking to you, so I'm going to go talk to someone else," which doesn't feel very genuine. Because it's not practical, because it would be better to say, well, I've enjoyed talking to you, but I have to save a kitten from a tree. But to say, I've enjoyed talking to you, but I'm bored now. Or I want to see if there's someone better to talk to.
I sort of did that last night.
I mean, that's what we're doing all the time
That's
to each
what a
other at
party
parties.
is.
I don't. And there's people who know how to handle that gracefully, and I feel more kinship with Spencer. I'm like,
I use the good old fashioned, hey, I'll be right back, I have to go pee.
Yeah, because you're the guy that is able to leave. You're not the guy that's struggling to not lose at a party. You're always winning.
Well, I mean, I have my own version of anxiety there, but like,
but just to, because Jeff said, he says, I gotta go pee. So why can't you and I say, I gotta go pee? Do you lie? You don't have to pee that much. So you lie.
People leave us in conversations, right?
I'm comfortable saying,
Sorry.
Hey, I'll be right back. Or hey, I'm gonna go over and say hi to my friend over there I just saw. I'll
Right, you're
But that's-
comfortable.
But that's more key. But that's why I wanted to address that, because it's not true what you initially said. You don't just tell everybody you're gonna go pee.
I will say this: if
You are
if-
more comfortable
if I-
saying the truth, which is
If I'm being
see you later.
If I'm being cornered by a jerk, like you're at the drawing room and some guy just won't get off your ass, I am very comfortable lying and say, "Oh God, I gotta go take a shit. I'll be back in 4 years." I'll say whatever it takes to get away from somebody who's punishing me. But
if they're engaged in a social crime on their own,
yes,
either they're so drunk.
yeah,
or crazy,
but then
or selfish.
Depending how little I'm afraid of getting punched or a drink thrown at me, I'll just say, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with other people," and just bone the fuck out. But the thing that you said, Spencer, about like pulling up and seeing a crowd, like I have my own thing about. It's not like, oh my God, I got to walk through a crowd and everyone's going to stop me. Like it's not like that. It's not like I'm so
Right.
rad that's going to be a bummer. But there's times when you just don't want to walk through a crowd and you might just want to be able to get from point A to point B without being stopped, and you can't be in control of that.
Right.
Like when I do like comedy shows, I disappear after the show. Like I like when we do on the Harmon tour and stuff like that. When the show's over, I usually find a place to be alone. Like I need that few minutes just to go hide, see if church texted, like just be complete. Like I don't want to be around the sound of maybe being asked to talk or do a thing. But I am a jerk, so I'm not uncomfortable wearing the black hat if I really have to get out of a situation.
I don't think it won't pay in this analysis for us to, like there's no good or bad. It's just, but it's worth examining because I observe about myself. I'm like, well, if you do a live show and then you're Santa Claus and there's a line of people, it's like there are moments when I feel like this is how I'm comfortable, and the reason is because it's orderly and it requires an introduction. And at a party, I think there's just like people. It's like people go like, "Hey, how are you?" Like I don't know. It's just so freeform. It's like orgiastic, and I start to freak the fuck out, and I spend every conversation that I have at a party, like I hold my drink, like, and if it's in a plastic cup, as last night, it's like. It's like the cup splits open very early on because I'm squeezing it, and it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. It's just like, because I'm always thinking like, what are you supposed to do? When is this supposed to end? Is this going on too long? What am I supposed to say? Am I being a bad person or a good person? Where's Cody? What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this?
I think maybe I've mentioned this before on the show, but like I think a long time ago, and you were my friend when this happened, I just started wearing suits all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a social cue body armor thing that people tend to leave me a little bit more alone.
Well, I think
I get to call the shots on that a little bit more.
Well, it also, I think that when you get up in the morning, because when you commit to being a suit guy, even though it seems second nature to you, when you get up in the morning, like there's social laws against leaving your house without a minimum amount of clothing on, and Spencer and I are wearing the minimum amount of clothing. Like we're wearing, which means that we actually get up out of bed and we go over to a pile of clothes.
Bombfell, who never gave me my goddamn clothes.
Let's not get too distracted.
Okay.
But when I think that's I'm pitching, I guess the advantage socially of having a style is because you actually, like on Halloween, like you wake up every morning and you put an amount of attention. You put on a suit of armor, mm-hmm. and it doesn't have to be about armor protecting the real you from the outside world. Like that's disingenuous. It's more about like that's also actually the important thing is that you're acknowledging every morning that the reason you're leaving your house is to interact with other people. And not to put words in your mouth, but Spencer and I don't do that.
Right.
We get up out of bed and we go, the reason I'm leaving my house is because I have to. I have an appointment. And so I'm going to put this potato sack on with holes in it for my arms because otherwise I'll get arrested. And it casts a kind of pall over the whole thing. Meanwhile, you're going like, it's in the way that you use it.
But also,
and then every interaction you have, there's a little bit of license for you
to be alone.
To perform.
There's, or I with a stern look, or like a.
Well, sure, there's that too.
I can be completely alone in public in a suit. I can also, like I've said before, my impression of myself is, everybody can have everyone's attention. Please leave me alone. And that's like, I get up, hey, everybody look at me. Now fucking shut up. and I want to, like, I bring earplugs wherever I go because I like to read in public, which is self-destructive and stupid. Because I'm always mad that people are talking. It's like, why did you just get an armchair and read at home?
Yeah, I guess I've kind of said also, though, that when I go over to my pile of 800 Rick and Morty t-shirts and my 3 pants that do or don't fit depending on how many Twinkies I've had that year, like, I always have this swirling thoughts in my head about whether or not I care, whether or not people like the way I look and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And you cut through that before you enter the world because you are formalizing your getting dressed. You're going, I'm going out into the world. And when I'm going out into the world, I'm an ambassador of my selfness to the otherness. And so that means that if someone comes up to me and says, hey, man, you want to buy a potato for $3? I don't know what that character is. I don't know what race he is. I'm sorry for all the emails I'm going to get.
Also, that must be a good potato. A $3 potato.
Also, we added an article to dollars. But that you can not only, because it's part armor, part performance, all this stuff. It's like when we do MeUndies ads and we talk about the first decision you make when you get out of bed is, are you going to put on cotton underwear that are like, oh, I got to protect my nuts from my own pants, or are you going to sheathe them in glorious micromodal, which actually says to you, the important person to say it to, I love my nuts being cradled in.
Yeah,
I didn't mean for that.
I think like
synergy to happen.
Right.
There's these. We've talked about it before, I'm sure. That there's 2 great books by Quentin Crisp. One's called Doing It with Style, and one's called How to Have a Lifestyle. And it's about what is style. And personal style doesn't mean fashion. It doesn't mean money. It doesn't mean sex. It doesn't mean power. It's self-knowledge.
How you're carrying yourself to other people, to have a camera on yourself. Yeah. Like
I'm sure I'm repeating myself, but as Quentin Crisp said, someone asked him, what is style? And he said, style is being yourself only on purpose.
Right.
And so that takes a level, like you can be homeless with style. You can be, it doesn't have to be fancy pants. Like it's simply who you are. Like Spencer, you have style.
I got style, baby.
You have so much style that 9 people can show up at a Halloween party dressed as you, and everyone goes, "Oh fuck, we're all Spencers today."
Right. It's just like, aesthetically terrible. It's a style.
No, but like you like when you on Harmon Quest pop out of the wilderness wearing your lumberjack shirt and your shorts, like you're impersonatable,
right?
Because I think it's absolutely okay, and for me, beneficial to have a uniform. Like I have a lot of clothes in my place, and I don't wear any of them. I wear my suits, I wear my black shoes, I wear my dress shirts, and then I've got a million T-shirts that I wear at home. And then the only time I'm ever not in a suit, I'm wearing one other outfit. And I just realized, like, one day, I'm sick of picking fucking clothes out in the morning. Yeah. Like, for me, I just want to make sure that the dry cleaner, like the stuff that I know I'm going to want that week is ready to go. And my closet is like Einstein's, basically. It's just a bunch of blue and gray suits and a lot of white shirts. And I find that really relaxing. That's something I don't want to spend time really thinking about. As much as I like clothes, I don't want to think about variety. I just like a nice dark suit with a white shirt and black shoes.
Right, but somebody who's like, it's the T-shirt culture, which we all live in. Like T-shirts, once upon a time, were like underwear, and now they've become a thing you can put on
I feel incredibly nude going to the market in a t-shirt, like when it's 900,000 degrees out, like it's been for the last couple of weeks. I feel like I'm basically walking to the supermarket like in a bathing suit.
I think the key is, like, as I said, like my therapist has said, like, that the new era that we're entering, hopefully that it's different, that the large theme is unconscious versus conscious. And so it's like it's possible to be unconscious and get up in the morning and go like, I'm gonna pull this Idiocracy shirt from this dispenser and throw it on myself, and that's fine. It's like no one's. We're used to the bad guys being people that tell you what you should wear, but somewhere in there, it's like there's so many things that we don't think about that then we're like worried about, and like for me and Spencer, and I suppose probably 99% of our listenership, it's like conversations with people, small talk, like grace, tact, square dancing of conversation where you could just go, hey, it's nice talking to you. I'm like, wouldn't you love knowing that, like, hey, I'd love talking to you, and now I'm going to love talking over there. I'm going to walk away. It's like everyone would respond to that and they'd be totally fine with that. But I don't have those things. I've been living in a society so luxurious that I've been able to slither this far, while the entire time maintaining that I don't know how to talk to people, don't know how to dress, don't know how to think about race, gender, all of these things, being myself but on purpose. I've been able to be myself on accident. That's a pretty luxurious thing.
Yeah, but
it also it results in all these like, oh shit, I have mold between my big toe and my little toe. Well, yeah, no shit. Like, You've not thought about a single thing that you've ever done.
Mold between your big toe and little toe means all the way across.
means none of your toes exist. I got derailed by my own fucking thing.
No, I mean, like church has style like crazy, and it's like I love it because like we can go out clothes shopping, and like we went the other day to a store that she likes downtown, and like I like going through the racks and looking for stuff for her. And sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong, but like, and she's like, "Oh, I love that you." She's like, "I like when you go out and like help, like look for stuff." But also like we can have a lot of fun in a clothes store, because it's not that like clothing is your identity, but the execution of our style has something to do with fashion. Yours doesn't. Like the execution of your style and Spencer's style is not fashion. It's other things. You know, it's more about brains and and the writing and the products and things like that.
And then that's why we murder people.
You know who else has style? Callie Kazoo. You guys know her?
I do.
She's doing a Kickstarter. Check it out. I like her music.
She wants to buy more Aqua Seafoam boots. If you go to her Kickstarter.
Yeah, you can go to support Callie Kazoo's third album Extravaganza. I already donated. You should, because she'll give you free shit. Like I made a small donation. She's going to give me a bunch of drawings and like groovy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't get nothing for paying something. You get something for paying something.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
A guy touched my girlfriend's face in a bar while I watched and did nothing.
Like in a romantic sense, or like he accidentally brushed her?
Well, you tell me. I in this new world of like, okay, let's be respectful and nice and all this shit. It's like I feel like I was like really high at the Halloween party, and I really got a good handle on this. I was talking to a bunch of other beta males about how like the accountability that we have, where it's like we're emerging into this place now where it's like, let's take down the alphas. They're so disrespectful. They're terrible. They do these terrible things. And then it's like, wait a minute, though, to the extent that it's every man for himself, if you're a beta and you start to panic, where you're like, oh, I think we invented everything that like holds us together. I'm self-identifying with like a sub-race of like men that are like, I don't want to beat another man's skull in if he looks at my girlfriend the wrong way. I want to have the confidence to prance about the world knowing that I own it because I'm talented, because guess what? Your muscles will get you this far, not this far. That's called modern society. And I just got this taste of it. I was in this bar with Cody. We had biked from my house to a bar, and we're minding our own business. I'm 44 goddamn years old. My girlfriend is 30 fucking 2 years old. We're adults. We're just taking our bicycles, which, by the way, every time we stopped at a stoplight, whatever, there was like a guy who came up to Cody and, it was like, hey, you guys, some kind of biking club? It's like I'm seeing it through all kinds of new eyes now. Like, yeah, just anything that like license you to talk to a girl. Like, you never know. Like, it's just such a ridiculous. Really, what? You guys are in a biking club? Whatever. I don't care. Like, I'm not like fucking stop talking to my girlfriend. But it's like I'm just looking at it through new eyes.
You're seeing it.
Where I'm like seeing it now. It's it's luminol.
Right.
It's our like fecal detector, like a black light, and I'm seeing like cum and shit everywhere. Then you go to this bar, and let's take photos of each other sitting at the bar, holding cocktails with our biker helmet on, like fun. So she takes a picture of me. The lighting is such that she should take my stool. She takes a picture. I stand back, taking a couple pictures of Cody. She's got her helmet on. She's holding a cocktail, adjusting. I want it to be good. I want it to be good for Instagram. This guy, goes excuse me, it just commands. It's like commands my space and goes like, excuse me, I'm sorry, can I help you with this photo?
Oh boy.
And so let's go back to this after the whole story, after the whole interaction plays out, and you tell me what I should do when and where. But
all right, I got it all loaded up.
Here's what I don't do. At that moment, I don't go, no, fuck off.
That's what you should have done.
And the reason I don't do it at that moment is because I don't assume that what's about to happen is going to happen.
Right.
I think that I'm in Hollywood and he's a DP. If it would be my male ego that would make me go, fuck you, don't, shut up. And that actually, this is how you make new friends. This is how you have a good time. This is why you came to a bar. This is overall my experience. Like, someone from your community says, hey, you live in Los Angeles. I noticed you're trying to take a picture here. I work for fucking Bruckheimer. I'll make it look like a goddamn Transformers movie if you move this candle. He said, can I help? Can I help? Came in with this thing. Yeah. And my reflexive response, I insist because I'm a good person, was yeah. And he, instead of taking my camera, now he moves forward because he's on the move and he's moving past me and he's moving over to Cody. And so now it's too late. It's like his suggestion of how to make the picture better is he wants to take the biker helmet that's on her head and turn it backwards. Which, by the way, doesn't make it look different.
That's the kind of suggestion you'd hear from the kind of person who would suggest at a bar to help you take a photo.
Yeah.
A stranger.
Well, except that I would argue with you either for the sake of my pride or for the sake of humanity's defense.
Sure.
I would say that honestly, Spencer, it sometimes, if not most of the time, a stranger who says, can I suggest something? Can I offer something? Can I help you? Can I improve your life? Actually, it's kind of like if you resist the urge to Planet of the Apes them, that it actually turns out to be fine.
Right. I guess I'm reading too much into the tone of voice you used.
Well, no, the guy. That's true.
You started the story telling us this guy.
That's
no,
very true.
I'm just honestly the tone of voice. If that's how someone wants to help, that's not the kind of help I want.
Yeah, let's stop there and reset, because that's actually making it very clear that it's important that I actually try to do a realistic impression of the guy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try it. It agonizes me to try it because I'm reliving trauma.
Sorry. You got this.
But I guess my best impression would be like, hey, can I make a suggestion here? Or it's hey,
even-handed.
Hey, can I help you with this photo? Or no, that sounds rapey too. It's just like I didn't. It sounded like
it sounded normal.
Hey, can I touch your girlfriend's face real quick?
The guy didn't. So then he turns the hat backwards, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm holding a camera while 3 feet from me, this guy, first of all, now the first fuck you is on a human level, because it's just, oh, can I just do a different thing than you were doing? And women who are listening are going to be like, do you think this is the whole problem? And I'm like, yes, it is the whole problem, because yes, the same thing that made him want to do it, whatever level he thought he wanted to do it on, I just want to, now I want to beat his brains in. I want to fucking pound him, because I'm like, you never, ever, ever wanted to help do anything. And this is before sexuality gets into it. He could be gay for all I know. I still want to beat his brains in, because he's a fucking weird, he's just a person that wants to fuck with shit.
And you hate,
and I didn't enter that agreement with him. I took him at his word that he wanted to do that, and now he's just doing bullshit to just change shit and piss on it. This is before. Now the next thing that happens is because he puts her hat on backwards. Now, well, guess what? Her hair is different now. Now he has to stroke her face and move her hair out of the way. I'm holding a camera 3 feet from my girlfriend in broad daylight in a bar, while a man that didn't beat me up, that never said, I'm a bigger man than you, I choose to challenge you, well, just is making me watch him stroke my girlfriend's face while he dictates the terms of my photograph. What am I supposed to do? How is a modern man supposed to deal with this shit? Because the beta male, who I am a member of, the way we dealt with it before was, I own everything. And ask your friends, and this behavior, I go ahead and follow your urges, but if it pisses me off, you're not going to get hired a lot. You're not going to get a loan at that bank I own. I make Rick and Morty and all this stuff, but it's in these tiny micro moments, and also assuming if we're not going to go with hierarchy as a measurement of how you should treat women, if in other words, beta males are controlling how alphas treat women because we own alphas, do we have to have accountability and go, okay, now that the zoo is loose, so I don't own alphas and I don't own women. Do I have to get in a fight with this guy? Do I have to learn how? Do I have to just go to bars less? Do I have to
So what happened?
Nothing. Just trauma. I mean, he was done as soon as he stroked my girlfriend's face with his smelly fingers, which I'm sure smelled better than mine. I did he got what he wanted. He was gone. He didn't. It wasn't like a movie where he's going to keep doing it before you stop him. He did what he wanted and he walked away. He did that to maybe 8 people, and maybe one of the women I don't know what his game is. He did it and he walked away.
And that man's name
is Mayor Richard Reardon.
I was going to say Steve Zahn, but yeah, that's fucked up. You got the camera. You just take.
I should have taken a fucking 1,000 pictures of him and been this guy had a lot of opinions about my girlfriend.
You point the camera right where his dick is. You get done and go, take it out. And
I know, and you have the confidence to do that. I froze and was like, what? How long do I have to wait for this guy to go away? Mm-hmm. How do I get back to my comfort zone? Which is not me hiding from him, but is me owning everything. That's the important thing. Like, how do I get back to my comfort zone where I'm king shit, not where I'm hiding in a bush?
Was Cody uncomfortable and freaked out by this? Like, how did she?
She hated it. She hated it. And you can see in the photo, there's a photo of her with a backwards bike helmet on where her face is crimson.
Yuck.
And she's forcing a smile, and she looks great because women deal with that all the time. And they just and the photo's taken by a fucking cuck who just watched.
Wait, is that the photo where her hair looks perfect and her hat is on backwards?
Yeah,
I love that. That's
my amazing photo.
It's my favorite photo of Cody.
No, it looks ridiculous, and she looks fucking like purple, and it's and every time I look at my own bike helmet, my dick shrivels up into my abdomen, and I just like. These are new questions that are going to emerge if we're going to be good men. If we're going to also say, because we can't just say, hey, don't jerk off into a potted plant blocker door. Like that, you know what? This society starts with guys that can't throw a spear as hard saying, yeah, but I can type a funnier joke than you. And then that translates into like hierarchy. So it's like, I think there might be a little bit of like, I need to learn how to punch a dude in the fucking face verbally or be as gallant as you, where it's like oh, you would, I know that you spent 20 years before you finally got headbutted and your nose broke, but like that was 20 years of you having recourse to masculinity. I have to learn to recognize that and then like react. It's like my adrenaline just froze me. I'm like, this dude is just like, he's just touching my girlfriend's face. And then in the time for it, faster than it takes me to even think that he's done, it took this long. It took that long. Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to do? Cut that off halfway? I just say, like, hey, get back here. Hey, mister. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Timing is always going to be hard because it's never going to be the perfect timing. You're never going to make it in time. You're never going to hit it right in the middle. It's always going to be too late. I mean, obviously, hindsight's 20/20, right? So it's not like you did anything wrong.
I spent the last 23 years calling everybody I thought was a cunt, and this one cunt punched me in the fucking nose and broke my nose.
But what about timing? Like, we have infinite timing now. What do we do?
I would have said, hey, man, you don't touch a woman without her consent.
Oh, damn.
I mean, you gave him permission to help with a picture.
Right.
You certainly didn't give anyone permission to touch a woman, right? Right. She didn't give him the permission.
So but in real, so you would say that.
If I were a superhero, that's what I would have done if I were in.
If you were a superhuman, not a superhero. If you were a superhuman, if you had supernatural, if you could move faster than human reflex, you would say it as his fingers touched her face,
right? Or afterwards.
Oh, okay. Or so that really should we do that?
Yes.
He does that, and now he's gone and go, hey man, hey,
yeah. That's the thing. The timing's not gonna it's.
And then everyone in the bar goes like,
okay.
what's going on? Sounds like someone wants everything that's going normally to stop. Hey, mister, hey, you don't treat a lady like that, you hear? And then Cody, if she's worth her salt, is gonna go, it's okay, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Please don't protract this trauma. Please don't do this.
Right. It's when someone abuses the system and subverts the rule of law to make everyone uncomfortable, there's not really a way to just let it go past.
To make one person uncomfortable versus the 40 people I'd make uncomfortable by calling them out.
Right. But the world is uncomfortable by this stuff. It's not supposed to be comfortable. The balance was upset when he touched someone. That was what threw, and then everyone else has to make the decision to either be cool or not be cool, but that's because of him. It's not like, I mean, obviously it is a decision you're making, but it's not the decision that you were forced to make. It was a decision that he forced on you by breaking the balance and, disrespecting personal boundaries.
Yeah, and to me the tragedy is, so 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be taking a picture of my girlfriend, and, Michelle Gondry is going to come up, or the next Michelle Gondry is going to go, actually, they're going to notice that I'm, backlighting her when it could be like, hey, can I help you with this photo? And I'm going to go, fuck you, you fucking rapist. Why don't you, what, or, no, I'm exaggerating. Right. For real, it was, he comes out, hey, can I help? And I go, how? How? Because that would be an appropriate response given how that guy behaved. Or how are you going to help?
Yeah,
Like I have to scrutinize every single interaction I have. I can't just, in spite of how much energy it takes for me to treat people normally. You know, when I go out in public and it's like, it's already hard for me to have people walk away from an interaction with me not going, well, that guy's an asshole. Like, so I have like reflexes that I've like programmed on top of my fucking reflexes.
That's how
like,
everyone feels.
Yeah.
That's how
it's great.
everyone feels.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so then you're going, whatever you want. It's just like fucking predators that are like, relying on that reaction.
That's what they're relying on.
And
yes.
so then you go, okay, no more, whatever you want. From now on, my reflex is going to be, what's going on? Mm-hmm. Great. The world's going to be fucking beautiful in 5 minutes.
We're living through that right now, we are. I mean, you keep hearing these new directors, these new personalities being accused. It's not...
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to
It's not comfortable.
What are you doing?
I wanted to commit to it being on my shirt, but I poured vodka on my shirt, and I didn't want it to get on my phone. That's a different matter entirely.
Bit late for that.
Speaking of different matters entirely, Spencer, what do you think about giving us a big, long recap of D&D? Because it's been a long time since I've been around and played. You want to
D&D.
Do you want to do a little? What's happening?
Here, play that.
That's Dan singing. So good.
I guess I don't know. That's Hoser?
Nice.
Is that
Hoser?
Do you really name your band Hoser?
If you're like, who's it? Who's the Canadian guys? Mackenzie Brothers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Take off a hoser.
All right. Sorry. Anyways, I don't know. But
It's not comfortable. It's what, remember...
And it doesn't happen to me that much, but I bet it happens to a lot of fucking people all the time.
Absolutely it does.
I created Rick and Morty, and that shit happened to me on Sunset and Sunset, like in full view of every hipster wearing gauzy t-shirt. Like this shit, like if you're listening and you constantly feel worried that like your masculinity is being like impugned, like or challenged, like the important thing is like I think that's how this all started. So now let's reboot and like figure out a way through these moments together where we don't take the course we took 6,000 years ago, where we went, you know what, enough is enough. From now on, if you love a man and you're going to have babies with him, you need to sign this contract, and any guy that fucks her is a criminal and he gets hung from the highest tree, like, because I'm talented and I bring more meat into this cave. Like we as a tribe, meaning we as the male that doesn't want to, I don't know. Like we started this. I want to know what I do as an individual. I want to be Humphrey Bogart the next time some dude, some chode fucking like disrespects my space, my girlfriend's like privacy and agency, like in public. I want to have like a foolproof response that doesn't make me a dick.
It's hard to do. Like very early on, like dating church, we were at some restaurant and some asshole like bumped our table and knocked shit all over us and was not cool about it. And he was, just a dick. And I really made a scene. And she was just like, fucking don't do that. Like don't. Like, I didn't let it go. It wasn't making things better. I escalated shit. And she's just like, fucking don't ever do that again. And like, I wanted instant justice, and you're not going to get it from that fucking asshole.
That's the thing. It's got to be a woman's worst nightmare not to mansplain what that is, but it's got to be like, there's got to be a highway cone where they're like, well, yeah, it'd be nice if there was a, but no, like this is my worst nightmare. Now I have two Visigoths, like.
I'm always the thing of saying something that hurts the person's feelings as they walk away, but that's not very healthy. And once it got my nose broken, so.
I mean, the truth is, in like a perfectly natural primate society, look, I don't know, there's 8 billion other dudes. If they all wanted to gang up on me and beat me up, they can have all my shit. So then we have capitalism, then we have politics, then we have government. So, like, we all wake up every day in a world where they're like, you're not allowed to climb in my window and have what I have.
I didn't put in a spirit gum on this beard, and it's coming up. Because I'm laughing too much, and now my fucking beard's popping up, and I'm like, what kind of commander?
We all have that problem,
We're all
too.
laughing too much.
We're all laughing too much.
Anyways, we were about to, I think, segue into maybe D&D.
I think we should...
D&D.
But I do feel like,
Dynamite.
whereas usually where we segue into D&D and then we heap onto Spencer, we go like, okay, now quickly do a recap as part of the D&D segment. I think it might help Spencer if we identify a pre-D&D period before we start playing D&D where we figure out what the fuck happened.
Yes, no, I'm saying because
So that it's not on him.
Because you guys played once, I think, when I wasn't here, and we haven't played for a while because you weren't here, Spencer. Like it seems like it's been a couple months since I've played D&D.
I think you were at the last one.
Was I? I don't fucking
We
remember.
turned in
got-
the missions.
We've all got license to not know what the hell
Yeah,
is going on.
let's before I do the roll of the music, Spencer. Like, do you have the sheets in the flim flam?
Yeah.
Hand those out because we have loads of time right now, and let's get this at least back up in the air.
While he gets that stuff out,
I don't think
let's
I have
do
my
a little bit of
dice.
podcast business because we're like, let's be transparent about this. We moved from the venue where we had a live audience into this place, and then we had a discussion tonight where we like pulled up the numbers of like who's listening when and who's and it looks like. Well, I mean, there's a million ways to look at a million different numbers, but like there's an indication that this transition is costing us like people's faith. That the upset is like we've cracked the whip here. Whether it's people thinking that the podcast is over and they don't have communication that the podcast is continuing, or whether it's people that genuinely hate this format and don't know it'll ever end, or like who knows? There's a million variables, but we did talk a lot tonight about.
Well, I think what we kind of came to the agreement on is that we don't know what's going on. We don't know when the space will be back. When the space is back, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. We don't want it to be us doing a booth podcast like this forever. That's not the permanent
Because
state
this
of
doesn't
affairs.
represent our dream. This isn't our fantasy. But then you would say, well, what is your dream? What is your fantasy? And we would say, we're not sure. I don't think that whatever we were doing before represented me thinking we were nailing it, which is why maybe for me it's easier to go, oh, fuck it, we're doing it from this booth from now on, vive la différence, and maybe people are going, what the fuck? Because all I can say is we're open to anything internally. We're going to try to, like, we're working on getting the venue back up. That's not because we think that the show should be what it was before. We also don't think this is ideal. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We want we're talking about maybe like we'll go around California and do like crazy like pop-up shows because that'll be fun like because we'll have an audience for that. There's ways to make the VO booth version of the show more like worth fucking listening to live. I don't know, but after you left that conversation, it's not really the subscribership that's in trouble. It's actually the crazy thing is maybe a totally organic thing, which is that the people listening to the free version of the podcast, it just plummeted after we transitioned, which is just like an earthquake. It's like, well, our show got canceled and there was no communication about.
You know why? Because that one GIF that Jane posted.
It was Jane.
Yeah, she fucking took it all down.
I was hoping that we could mention her tonight in the Tonight Show because I definitely did want to continue a insane cycle of whether or not. I don't. I definitely was hoping for sure.
Hand Steve and I our character sheets, please. All right, the dispensing of the character sheets is happening.
Oh,
Yeah. All right, so Spencer...
I'm woefully unprepared. I apparently don't have my dice or my laptop, so both my laptop is on my phone and my dice is going to be on my phone.
Phone dice.
All right, but we didn't talk at all about what had happened.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this right now.
Let me just say that being good in 2017, it's not always going to be comfortable, and we're not always going to do the right thing. But it's always going to be the wrong thing to just go, oh, that sucks. I'll deal with it later.
You know what? Look, we've been doing this podcast for a long time. We've had a lot of fun. It's never been perfect. It's very lazy and fly by night. But we want the people listening to know that this we are all committed to finding out what the new, better version of this is, and we're going to do it.
I was talking about sexual assault.
Oh. Well, no, that's come on. That's just gonna happen.
Right.
All right, that was a joke.
I know it's true though.
It's a great show. It's a good
Why
show.
bark boxes in your character sheet?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
the
like
third
ad reads in
page
my
is
character.
bark box.
Bark box. I had a conversation with my therapist that I thought was so fucking fascinating because I think she may be using me as a case study because I'm like a straight white male and like this shit is like in the psychological community. This movement that's happening right now, people should know maybe that this is measurable and it is a real movement because the people who get paid $200 a session to talk to you about what's fucking you up, they're all talking about it. And these are snobs who do not normally pay attention to what you're talking about. They do not care. They dismiss it as like pockets of this and that. And it has disrupted their entire practice. It has disrupted their calendar of how you're going to self-actualize and how couples interact. Particularly the Weinstein thing, couples therapists are experiencing this flood of women in couples saying, yeah, well, here are my assaults. And the man in the couple going, I didn't know that. And then you go from there into a Yahtzee game or into a fucking like Candyland game of like, you don't know. Like, because no one's ever communicated about it and everything has gone insane. And I think for that reason, maybe my therapist is kind of fascinated with my like... of like my point of view, like what's going on with it. And I had like I almost came like, whatever. We should play D&D. I don't want to. I feel like me talking about this stuff is why our subscribers like went away or our listeners. Or
I
whatever.
think nothing is more helpful than four men talking about women's issues.
Well, that's a dumb, cheap shot. Like,
We're all right about everything.
I mean, I had a conversation with my therapist about what I was experiencing as a man about all this stuff, and she was telling me as a gay person, like, how it works being like feeling like you're part of a demographic that is under a microscope. And a thing that was crazy to me was when she'd talk about like, well, you know, like when gay rights are like violated or when things are coming up in the news, like some kid gets like handcuffed to a fence and beaten because he's gay or something. Her explaining to me that there's like this fear if a gay person, an individual gay person is reading the newspaper and reads that story, that beyond any outrage, beyond any like anything, that there's like this weird shame that creeps in where it's like, oh, it's not like, are they coming for me next, or maybe I shouldn't be gay. It's just sort of like, when are they going to stop looking at me? When are they going to stop paying attention to me?
Right.
And I was like, I was so overwhelmed with her characterization of it, where I was like, oh man, you know what? I don't think I ever understood that. I think that everybody just intellectualizes like this stuff because it gets reduced to like this like stratego game of like, oh, I understand your outrage. I understand your anger. I understand unfairness. You work for this, you should get that. But like, we're not communicating about the thing that we could all relate to, which is like, holy fuck, I hope nobody kicks my fucking ass next. I hope nobody fucking comes for me. I hope I didn't make a bad choice. Did I make a choice? Should I be gay? What's going on? Like, I don't know. Like, because it's not prideful. They don't have gay fear parades. They don't have, it's like, it's not right. It's not a right way to express anything. And yet it's something we all share. Like, you worry about it. And I was burst into tears because I was like, I didn't know you guys felt that way. I only understood that you'd be angry. I didn't know that you'd be like ashamed. I didn't know that you'd react to a story in a paper of somebody getting gay bashed with shame. Mm-hmm. I thought you'd react with anger and fear, but not shame. And I think that, like, Anyways, all right.
That's been our show. Thanks for... No, okay.
So we're in a forest and the fucking goblin attacked us. Whatever.
No.
You fucking Nazi.
We had a whole episode after that.
All right. Where were we?
All right, yeah, take me way back, Spence, please, if you don't mind. I'm sorry to call you Spence. That really didn't.
I call him Spenny. I've started calling him Spenny
Spenny. He probably loves that.
in text.
Spenny, do you like that? Or no?
That's one of several competing theories. I'm honestly trying to remember what happened.
You know, BarkBox will send you a box of...
We went to
You know who won't send you
Placeholder.
clothes?
We went to Placeholder, and then we turned in our mission, and the captain of our police force kind of base, we had a meeting with them.
Well, yeah, that was the most recent. So if that's all you want to know, oh, for sure. Okay, so here's what happened. You finished your mission. That's what I pointed out.
No, I know. I'm sharing it.
Oh, to the camera. Sorry. Sorry. I do a lot of drugs these days.
These days.
Is it because you feel sad about something that's beyond the cheese stain?
It's no. Well, I mean, I'm sure it is. But really, I'm just trying to remember.
Forget about the cheese stain. It's a little Cat Stevens for you guys.
I wasn't mansplaining. I was talking about a personal revelation.
You got kind of teared up too.
Well, you kind of high-roaded me before
I
think I'm not like one of those guys. I'm not. I'm special.
No, but like, I'm not saying it's not worthwhile talking about, but a bunch of guys talking about women's issues is like that's all that's happening.
I'm not talking about women's issues. I'm talking, whatever. But
yeah, no. I was doing exactly what you said. I was taking a cheap shot, and I copped to that.
Well, when you're not around and you don't take those cheap shots, the show descends into garbage. So you must be doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to point it out, but maybe the ratings dipped when I wasn't here.
Yeah, I mean, it point of fact, that's what happened. The question is, yeah. And also the stock market kept going up after Trump was elected. But, we need to look at this stuff closer. You could have been part of the Schwab boost.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to maintain my composure when I know that there's not enough spirit gum on this fucking beard and it's popping and flopping?
It looks fine from most angles.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're at that angle,
see
it
that
starts.
right there?
No, I get it.
There's a big pocket.
Most people aren't going to be viewing you at that.
I got a party to go to where I have to be a character that nobody knows who I am. 3 people saw the Scrabble box last night and laughed. That was 3 out of 1,000.
Maybe not as many people watch that show as we think.
No, or it's been too long. Now it's all about those Stranger Things.
All right.
Okay. Do we still have time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loads
lots
of time. All right, Spencer, do you want to just do a recap, or should I give you music? How do you feel about this?
Whatever you guys.
I'm going to give you music because I like continuity. There's a bug. Go away.
Fuck.
It's fucking bugs.
The whole thing's a blackout.
You're in a blackout right now?
No. I mean, well, I might be.
I feel like a lot of my life has been a blackout the last 5 years.
Maybe you should stop drinking, Steve.
I know.
Last time, and an undetermined amount of times before that, our heroes were doing a mission. Oh boy, they exorcised a child, and then they saved that child from a priest that was trying to exorcise the child. They took the priest into custody where they were going to take him back to the home base. And you know what happened? Assassins happened. They came in and they stabbed up Patchins and they stabbed up Diarrhea Jr. And the prior ran away. He was your captive and he ran away. Oh boy, the assassins ran away and it turned out they had a powerful gem that Patchins owned, and he was besides himself with rage that it was allowed to be taken from him. You met up with this guy called Geffen, and he gave you back the prior, and you guys went back to the home base where you turned in the mission. And Patchins went to talk to the people, and the prior went to talk to the people, and you told Patchins you'd meet him at a local tavern after the meeting. The captain said you can turn in your mission papers with Zelly at the commissary to get paid. Brother Absalom was looking at you. Brother Absalom you met, and he gave you a orangutan ball. There was an Umber Hulk, but it was non-canon.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I have questions about the. What was the?
That's a great way to start off. Anyone have questions?
What's the orangutan thing, or what was that?
When you first ran back into Pureburn Abbey, you met Brother Absalom,
Right.
And he was like, "Yo, what up?" And then you were like, "Weren't you working on that thing to get us not have to sign all this paperwork?" And he was like, "Yeah, here you go. Here's an orangutan ball. It summons an orangutan."
All right. And was that at that time? Did we regard that as a random response?
It seemed like the kind of thing that was someone trying to yes and an improv you made.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we're off to Skull and Bone, the bar, right, to go talk to Patchins or something like that?
Yeah. And to be clear, so my drunken question is, so we didn't get like a new mission from anybody. We're like done, and we're in a flux here.
Not yet, although you had been told that you could collect your paycheck and that Brother Absalom had been looking for you.
Oh, let's go get our paycheck then. Where do we
And
find...
you wanted to meet Patches.
Where do we find Brother Absalom?
He's in his lab.
Let's go to the lab and get paid, and then we'll
He
take
doesn't pay out.
Oh.
You go to the commissary to get paid.
Let's go to the commissary and get paid.
Yep.
All right, you go there. It's just like a storefront. It's like kind of like a hotel gift store kind of thing. It's really small. It's got just shit everywhere, and it's not useless hotel shit. It's like useful kind of.
I always thought
Church
commissary was like a synonymous with cafeteria.
Yeah.
What is it?
I did too.
It's also like a store and a place where you can buy goods, I believe.
Okay.
It is generally more the food.
I sidle up to the... is someone work... ding ding, is there anybody here working at the commissary?
Yeah, you see a tan-skinned girl with silver hair and it looks like
A diversity.
the robes of, what do you call it? The monks. Like the monks are kind of the clerical kind of, record-keeping kind of people. They're not the same as you guys. They're not enforcers. They're not priests or anything. They're just kind of like a clerical class of people.
I walk up, I introduce the group, and I say we'd like to get paid in full.
All right. Where's the paperwork?
I hand over the paperwork.
Okay. You guys hand out the paperwork that you filled out
Yep.
behind the scenes.
Yep.
Okay.
You do that. You each get 20 gold. It's the
What?
job, the payout for the job.
Each 20
Yeah.
gold?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I'm rich.
Yep. Guys, you know what we do right now? We take this straight to the Skull and Bone.
I'm worried about Patchins.
Yeah, Patchins. I think he's over there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go. Let's go get a stink on, and we'll talk to Patchins.
Thank you, commissary mistress.
What's your name, by the way? Tan monk lady.
Zelly.
Hello, Zelly.
Well, we see you as equal.
Okay, that was weird.
Right. I thought that was the case to begin with.
Yeah. Now it seems.
Well,
But I appreciate the affirmation.
Thank you, Zelly. I never questioned your status to begin with.
seems like a weird thing to have
This
to
is
say.
the same exact problem.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, good to meet you, Sally. See you in the flip flop.
Bye, Sally.
Let's go over to the Skull and Bones.
All right. You go to the Skull and Bones.
Now I feel terrible about it.
Should we
But she didn't make it this far
These
without
characters-
having to
they
go
just-
numb to that shit.
I don't know, but you're still weird about. Yeah. I don't
No,
know.
but I'm like what? I'm like a thing that tested her numbness. I'm not a thing that caused it.
Yeah. Well, let's live and learn. Let's not do that again. Let's not.
Next time I see a person with tan skin and what was it? Weird hair?
Silver hair.
Silver hair. I'm gonna be like whoever smelled it dealt it. I'll wait for them to call me different.
Okay. We sidle up to the old Skull and Bone.
The Skull and Bone is kind of like, it's like in the casino where there's these little alcoves that have like restaurants and shit. It's like in this the Abbey grounds that you're in the mess hall kind of area that's adjacent to the commissary. There's three kind of little what do you call it?
Bouncers?
Restaurants or sort of situations.
It's like a food court kind of situation.
Kinda, yeah. There's like a mess hall and then like let's say 3 lounges. So two of the lounges are reserved for higher ups and people that are higher rank than you, and one of the lounges is the Skull and Bones. So that's kind of the
It's like an
tavern.
airport terminal.
Yeah,
Right.
kind of.
It's kind of like a commissary.
Well, when I wrote this stuff down, I knew what a commissary was, and I don't remember what a lot of this stuff means anymore.
Guys, let's. I could murder a drink right now, and we gotta catch up with Patchins. Mm-hmm. So we walk into the Skull and Bones. Spencer.
All right, you see the bartender, Brother Stube. He's pouring a glass of beer for you guys because he knows what's up, and hopefully it's beer.
Hey, Stube.
What up, man?
How's it going out there?
It's still fine.
Are
Just
you,
making it by.
Stube, are you still smoking the doob?
I had to stop after they removed my intestines.
Oh no,
Stube. What?
Do you have Crohn's disease?
I might.
Oh, damn.
Are you saying that they removed the Stube tube?
I'm sorry.
man.
I'm sorry.
I'm popping my mustache off. I'm making myself
about
hysterical.
our friend. He means, do you need any help with medical bills?
No, I'm okay. The church covers us.
Do they let you keep the intestine?
The Stube tube,
Yeah.
of course.
I've never seen Jeff laugh this hard.
so
He's
happy.
crying.
I've made myself hysterical. It's trying not to laugh because you're gonna pop your Commander Fred mustache off.
It is funny.
Makes
Everything's funnier when you have a beard on. That's not your own beard.
Oh boy.
Stube,
have a fucking heart attack.
Stube, give yourself something. I give him like an extra.
Is there any tissues?
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Christ.
your
You got those
kindness.
tissues, bro?
Fucking crying.
You know I do.
You see Patchins around here? And I describe Patchins.
Patchins.
He looks like Toby
Patchins.
Maguire, but
It's funny. Patchin's last name is Stubbins, and your name is Stube.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Are you related?
No,
No.
but the person who named me wasn't very original.
we're living in a name imagination drought.
Would you look at me?
It's half mustache.
Yeah.
What's the word about town, Stube?
You're foo and a half men chew? No, that didn't work. I don't know. I was trying to think of something like a half Fu Manchu. 2.5 Fu Manchu.
It's a Chinese Fu Manchu.
2.5 men chew. Fu and a half men chew.
Fu and a half men chew.
Fu Man, yeah.
But then you need I don't know.
I've got spirit gum in my pocket.
hard.
Right? We're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing our D.
All right, Stu. Do you know of this Patchins that we speak of?
No.
I examined the bar to look around to see if I can see a Patchins walking around.
You don't see Patchins.
I picture him as looking, by the way, exactly like Podrick from Game of Thrones. That's what I picture
Okay.
when I picture Patchins.
Patchins? All right.
No,
That's a good idea.
but that's like white rights like. Why couldn't that role go to an Asian?
Yep.
Listen to my other podcast, Whiting Wong, to find out the answer.
Stu, how'd you lose your intestines? I'm concerned about this.
I might have Crohn's disease.
All right.
All right.
But in this world, it's the result of a real crone.
I was cursed by a crow.
Yeah, an actual crone, like took his intestines out. All right. Well, I mean, it's not a big place, and I'm looking around for Patchins.
No, he should be here. I mean,
Shit.
if he was here, we'd see him.
Wait a minute.
Do I see? I look around. Is there anything else that might catch a gnome druid's eye?
This is great for dice.
We don't have a. Yeah, I'm like, as he's rolling with his phone. Like, I don't know. I'll have a right to expect that he would meet us here. You know, like we were kind of cable guys about it. We were like, we'll just meet you at some point.
Yeah, but didn't he say he was going to be here?
Yeah, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Okay.
You don't see anyone here except just there's just a few regular people who are almost always here. It's not a very busy time for the Skull and Bone.
So how do
so
we?
Stubes doesn't recall any young, bright-eyed male that I describe Patchins, like however I describe Patchins.
He's kind of
No, and
sleepy.
I would have remembered something like that.
So he
That's
never made it
practically
here.
my job.
Uh-oh.
Looks like we got to send Diarrhea Jr. back to where we came, have him retrace the path that Patchins would have taken. See if he finds anything
Okay.
untoward.
I go back to Pureburn Keep.
You're already there.
I have a drink.
that's
I have
right.
A drink. Hot wings.
I go back to the offices.
All right, you do that. Which offices?
The ones we started in.
I'm eating hot wings, but I'm not going to clean the bone because I just got 20 gold pieces, and I've never liked to deal with bones in food. Like I take a bite of the hot wing, and I end up putting what a lot of people would judge me for in the discard basket. But the truth is, fuck you. We're all criminals. We're eating chicken.
Yeah, no one judges you.
I look for the bishop.
The bishop's not around. Usually the higher-ups don't really come around and mill around here. He was probably there for an appointment or two.
Wasn't he the last person to talk to Patchins?
Him and Brother Schrader.
Okay, I want to find Brother Schrader.
All right, you find him in his office. You know where that is.
I know where that is.
Do they have an appetizer menu here?
Yeah.
Is it hot wings? What else?
Hot wings, Scotch eggs, mixed nuts and pickles.
I ordered mixed nuts.
He brings you a plate of mixed nuts and pickles.
Brother Schrader?
Yeah. Wait. Hey. Yeah.
Hey, do you know where our friend Patchins went?
Patchins, he said he was looking for you right after we finished up. He said he had something to tell you, and then he was leaving.
So wait, he had something to tell us, but left?
No, he said he had to do both of those things.
I'm removing any pecans or walnuts. Those are the two. If those are included in mixed nuts,
That's like
I'm not-
most of them. There's still almonds, but yeah.
What about
almonds.
what about
basically
cashews?
suck.
There's
No, you're not there.
I know, but I like cashews.
Do your thing.
Okay, so
yeah, that's metagaming, Steve.
I order olives.
yeah,
There's no olives.
Oh shit.
which direction did he walk in?
He went towards the bar. The Skull and Bone.
Fuck.
Are you lying to me?
You're using sense motive. Do you have not sense motive? Do you have... it's called something different in Pathfinder. Do you see anything?
There is a sense motive.
Okay, then it's sense motive.
I don't have it.
All right. You can't tell what his face is saying, but he looks really mad.
Mad. Hey, you look really... Are you okay?
Yeah, I got a dipshit in my face asking me stupid questions.
Oh, snap.
Ouch. Why you gotta be mean?
Because I'm the boss, my time's really important, and you're just asking me questions that I think you already know the answers to.
Well, what's so important? Can I help you with anything?
No, man.
Well, that's not good delegation.
Why don't we set you up in the office, and then we'll give you all these tasks, and right when you're about to do them, then I can come in and start asking you a bunch of stupid bullshit and see how you feel about it.
But what are you gonna do when I leave here? Like what's your laundry list?
What's my laundry list?
Come on.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
What do you mean?
Like, what are the things you gotta do? Your tasks.
Not laundry.
It was an expression.
What's the expression?
It's a laundry list of things.
Laundry things.
No.
What are you talking about?
What tasks do you have to do when I leave here?
I have to follow up with several of the missions that are due back with the mission reports today. I'm going to see the status of things that are going on in the office pool, check in, get some reports on
I
ongoing
want to try
assignments.
some of those pickled eggs or Scotch eggs.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll get some in the...
I appreciate the help. I'm glad you don't have to do laundry. Laundry really sucks. I go back to the Skull and Bone.
Thank you. On the way there, you see Patchins is like hiding in a corner.
Oh, what?
Nice work.
He's
He's in the Skull and Bone?
no, he's not. He's on the way to Skull and Bone. He's like flagging you down with his hand.
Patchins. Hey, man, I was just looking for you.
Get in here.
Whoa. Okay. Why are we whispering?
Because I'm in big trouble, man.
What's going on, man?
I lost an artifact in the church. I'm gonna go find it.
No, wait, the one that was stolen from you that we didn't...
Yeah, that's like my whole job. They said I gotta go get it back.
Okay.
I'll see it.
Wait, what are the stakes here?
Life and death for me and maybe more.
Oh, man. Well, can we help you?
Well,
This sounds like a
I
job
think that
for
ship
this.
sailed.
We'll come with you to back you up. You don't have to do it alone.
I don't know.
We're
You
your-
guys,
We're your friends.
the last time I trusted you, I got stabbed, and basically my whole life was upended.
Dude, I got stabbed too. We're stab bros.
Right.
We should stick together.
Maybe you should reconsider your surroundings.
Have you tried one of the Scotch eggs?
Yeah, these are nice.
They're really good.
They're not as heavy as I thought they'd be.
They look deep fried, but they're really.
Yeah, it's like this is like a panko. What do they got going on here? It's nice.
Yeah, they put something other than breadcrumbs on it.
Yeah, I think it's a panko.
Have you had a big tittied filibuster?
Yeah. Should we get some?
Nah, if you've already had it, it's a novelty drink.
Hey, Patchins, look, it would mean a lot to me if we could accompany you and try to make good on all the horrible things that have happened to you because we've entered your life. If you, either way, whether you want us to help you out or not, I want to give you my slingshot to help you on your journey, with or without us.
Awesome.
But you got to let me know now because I got to go get my buds. My best buds.
Listen, I appreciate your help. It hasn't been very helpful. I'm going to leave. You guys deal with the results of your actions.
All right, well, take my slingshot so you can always remember us.
All right.
Okay.
I go back to Skull and Bone.
He tells us what just happened, and we have a little powwow. Does that?
Well, wait a minute. No, come on. I want
Okay.
him to tell us.
Okay. Hey, how'd it go? Did you find Patchins?
What's going on?
Hey, guys.
Break it down for us.
I went back, and then I got yelled at. Patchins.
What? You found Patchins?
I found Patchins in a corner, and he was really scared.
Corner of what?
Just the corner of the commissary, and he really doesn't want to have anything to do with us anymore. So I gave him my slingshot, and I told him
He didn't want help?
he definitely did not want our help.
Oh, cool.
So you said, would you like our help? And he said no.
Yeah, and he
didn't say anything passive aggressive like, well, you haven't helped that much so far, or your help hasn't turned out that good.
Yeah.
Something that passive aggressive people say where they really want you to help.
He made it abundantly clear that
He said, no, I got this covered. I'm a totally confident person. That
no, he didn't seem confident,
Right.
but he also, I don't know
He
that we
seemed-
were additive in any
Right.
way.
So he seemed like he needed help, but also didn't want to owe us anything and just wanted to make us feel guilty and help him.
I think that he felt more like if we went with him, we would royally fuck it up for him. Like he had better chances without us.
Right. Because he was doing so good with his artifact by guarding a door. of
Yeah,
a
he was
fucking
just
church
sleeping.
that was overrun by vampires. All right. Well, sounds like we
we
did what
follow
we
him?
need to do. Doesn't sound like it. I mean, if you told me something different, like if you were able to convey nuance to me, like that would make it clear that he actually wanted our help.
Well, I mean,
I would say let's go follow him.
Yeah, well, I asked him, I was like, well, what are the stakes? And he was like, personally, my life and death, but also the whole world.
Right.
And I
And
feel
then
like,
you said, do you want help? And he was like, no.
yeah,
Really?
That's
he was
what happened.
unequivocal about it. He said no. He didn't say, from my experience, it doesn't seem like you guys helped that much. Because that would be a different answer.
I mean, he did do that too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He did that too.
Yeah, he was.
Which means he did that instead, because you can't do both.
I don't know,
You can't
man.
be definitive and
I
passive
really got
aggressive.
the sense that it wasn't passive aggression. He was just very mad and very scared and very upset, and really didn't think we were helpful.
I say fuck it. I say fuck him. Let him do his own thing. Let's go.
yeah, so it sounds to me like-
we gotta go find Patchin's gem.
Yeah, no, I mean, not when he's going to make it difficult to help him.
I mean, I'm not like I'm in this for the ambitious, glory and stuff. But like, what the adventure of Patchin's gem doesn't really sound like a.
Well, what if
Well,
we-
no, the adventure of Patchin's gem sounds like an amazing adventure. The adventure of convincing Patchins that he needs help
whoa.
sounds like the first 40 years of my
What if-
fucking life.
What if we man who knew too littled him, and like we're in the shadows and making everything happen, and he just thought he was doing such a great
well,
job.
I don't think we're talented enough to do that. What are we like like he's Inspector Clouseau and we're Fate? Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we've graduated to that level.
Oh.
Like,
Like, I'm just blue skying here.
How about this? Why don't we walk back to the Abbey or wherever we go and talk and see? Like, we need a new mission, obviously, because we're basically homeless. We got 20 gold burning a hole in our pocket, but
That's a lot. We don't need a new mission.
Should we put it all on black?
Hey guys, we work for the church militant, and we got we took an oath. We have a job to do. How about this? Why don't we go back, find out if they have a new job for us? If it sounds less interesting than the adventure of Patchen's gem, then we go shadow Patchens around.
I don't think shadowing Patchens is going to be a realistic option if we wait 5 more minutes.
Spencer, who do we talk to about finding a new mission for us?
Brother Absalom.
Okay, why don't we go back and talk to Brother Absalom, and then we'll tell him about Patchens and see what he thinks about that.
I will. I don't want to be negative Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the reasons why we didn't bring Patchens up in the first place is because when we were debriefing, Patchens made it very clear to me that he doesn't want the Church of the Silver Flame knowing about his ish.
Right.
That was clear. So if you care about Patchens,
that would have been good to mention in the recap. That's great that you remembered
that's
that.
accurate though, right?
No, I know. That's great.
Yeah, I let Patchens have his own. It was a thing. Like I knew that Patchens didn't want us talking about
because he'd be in big shit trouble with the church.
I wasn't quite sure, but I had decided like I like this Patchens kid. He helped us a lot. Like if it were up to me, I'd like to help him. I don't know if Diarrhea is an unreliable narrator. Like if I heard a kid say, if he was like dragging his feet and going like, no, I don't need any help, don't need anybody, I'd be like, well, I'm 40, so I think you do need help, and that's cool because when I was 20, that's how I talked too when I needed help. But that's why I said, did he say no, or was he a little fucking schlubby about it? Because if he's schlubby about it, let's go chase this kid down and save him from himself.
Maybe I'm just bad with people.
Was he a little schlubby?
Yeah, maybe
he was a little schlubby. He was a little mealy-mouthed. He was a little, like, indirect, like, well, basically, when it all comes down to it, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, well, let's go get the kid. Right?
Okay,
He's our friend.
You know what? The more I say it, because I've said it now twice, but the more I say the adventure of Patchen's gem. It seems like if I was in a bookstore and I saw that on a book, I'd go, I'm going to give that a read.
It sounds like at least one ingenue is going to get her first kiss in that adventure.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be us. Okay, so in other words, in that conversation, I'm kind of like, oh, Patchens. That's why I was asking him that stuff. I was like, did he say no, or was he kind of like poopy face about it? Now I'm like in the middle of my drink, I'm like, all right, I want to go find him.
Let's all run out and go see if we can get to the bottom of this with Patchens.
Yeah.
We run out to look for Patchens, Spencer.
All right. Who's got the best perception?
Probably.
It might be Dan.
I have a 4.
Oh, I think it is Levy.
No, I've got
actually.
11, Jackson.
My name's Steve. I mean, Diarrhea.
I call Spencer Jackson because that's what you do when you have 11 perception.
As a human, I don't have enough perception to find it on my character sheet. Does that
It's
count?
under your skills. It's alphabetical P.
All right. You're looking for Patchens. You don't see him.
Shit.
3.
That's not bad.
Okay.
He's clearly left the abbey, the keep.
Which way was he headed?
Well, he's got to be heading toward where the thieves went. That direction, right?
What?
So,
No. Which way was he headed?
I didn't really get a good look.
What do you mean? Which way was he headed?
Well,
Did you see him walk off?
No, I left before he did.
Oh, great.
Right.
Okay.
Where did you see him last?
Right here, behind this little bush.
It's behind this bush. I look around the bush.
Not a bush. You're inside.
I look around inside the bush.
You see, it's like a small nook where a short person could hide.
I'm really scouring on the level that a person without perception would achieve the results they need to have if he had a high perception. I'm just looking at every fucking inch and centimeter of the area.
You see fingernail marks, like someone was digging into it, like trying to climb up it or something.
Interesting.
Okay. I just yelled, Patchens!
You do that.
Don't one of you guys have like I can turn into a spirit bird or I can
That's Shadowrun.
All right.
Can you
okay.
talk
Good
to
call.
animals?
There might be something that you guys can do.
Can you
but
conjure one and talk to it and have it?
I certainly can't.
Well, it looks like we lost Patchins. I mean, and I think that anyone listening would agree that we did the best we could.
Well, hang on. I might be able to conjure up some bullshit here. Hang on a second. I
have a bark box. Can I use bark box for a limited time only?
I summon nature's ally.
I summon
nature's ally.
All right. What nature's ally do you want to summon?
A horse.
No.
No?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't have anything that flies. Can't do an octopus. I summon a horse, and I get on it, and I ride out of the town looking for Patchins. Is there like a one gate kind of town, or is there lots of different gates?
It's like there's a couple gates, but there's a main gate.
Okay, I get in the horse and I go, I'll be right back, boys.
Good luck.
All right. Clap it.
All right.
Did you see how beautiful that horse was?
Oh God.
What level are you?
Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like what level?
You're level 3, right?
Yeah, we're level 3.
You take off riding on your majestic, magical summoned steed, and you ride for 18 glorious seconds until your spell runs out. So it lasts for 3 rounds.
We can still see him up the road, right?
Right, yeah. It goes, you fall off, like the horse poofs out from under you.
What the fuck is the point? Oh, right, okay.
I
3
think it
rounds.
maybe in close quarters when you
Yeah,
those moments when
okay.
you wish you had a horse.
All right.
In combat time,
I
3 rounds
I
is a
hop
lot.
off the horse because I knew that was coming. And I well, bam, and I look around and I see I Patchins!
I pretend that I didn't see it.
I yell Patchins because I'm clearly closer to where he might have been.
All right. You see some footprints, but yeah.
It's like he's throwing you a bone. Like
I run off after in the direction of those footprints.
Oh, you do that. After 3 hours, you catch up to Patchins.
Oh, wow.
I tell Patchins, stay right here. No, I don't. I just say cliffhanger. Because we've got along.
oh, the worst.
Yes.
The worst.
We didn't do shit,
We're the worst.
we're going on the adventure of Patchin's Gem, everybody. Give it up for Steve Levy, Wall. Thank you, everybody out there in the booth. Church, Kevin. Who else do we have out there? Chris, Sarah, other people. Did I say church already? Nolan. Spencer Crittenden, your game master. I'm your comptroller, Jeff Davis. And your mayor, of course, is Dan Harmon. We may see you on the road. We may see you in a live space sometime. Until then,
knows?
it's a fucking mixed bag, everybody. We love you.
A mixed bag of nuts.
Drive fast, take chances, and tip your fire marshal. Did you get any of that?
It's a good show.
Feral Audio.